Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 2 of the Revell's 68 Dodge Dart HEMI 2-in-1 kit, skill level 5, and it's pretty much getting as much as I can give it. So tonight we're just going to talk about the HEMI engine because that's what I spent most of the time on. So let me get the guys, sorry about that everybody. Let me get the guys out the way and we'll get this rolling. So this, honestly, is a kit in itself. Really nice detail here. So what I did is, you saw me the last time dry brush this alternator. Well, I took, and that outer ring, remember I said I was going to paint that, I painted it with Tamiya's metallic gray XF56. I think it perfect color for that. Make sure we're in the shot here. We ran our vacuum advance over here. I ran the coil wire up and around the top. We did wire the tops, or we did wire the distributor. Those are going in. I'm not done with this yet because I do want to put a little dab of Mod Podge in each one of those holes, let it sit overnight, and then touch that with rubber black to give it those boots that are on there. But I did use my really tiny pin vise, this bit right here, and I drilled it out for my 32 AWG wire, really fine stuff here. And I drilled 2 little holes in the coil, and I ran the coil wires, and I ran them around to the back here just to get them out of the way. We ran our fuel line up using the same thing we used on the coil wire and the distributor wires, is my 0.3 millimeter solder. Great stuff. I've been using this a ton and I've just barely cut into here. It's gonna go a long way if you decide to get it. So I ran the fuel line up and around the back of the coil, into the side, and then into this side, because they had me put the distributor or the carburetors on facing the same way. And if I was going to do this again, I would turn this one 180 so it's facing the other way, and I would have ran the coil wire or the fuel wire around to the back side, this side, just because it'd be easier to make the linkage look a little more realistic. But we'll get to that here in a second. So I ran the fuel lines, and then I also ran the fuel rails across the haulies here from bowl to bowl, so that we're legit. We got fuel running to both bowls here. We also, like I said, we ran our wires here. I put a little backer plate on the back of the water jacket where the radiator hose goes in, and then I painted that with the metallic gray just to give it a good look. I got a little drill and drilled into here and here so that we do have the bolt holes for the gooseneck. And then we came around the back side, and this is what took me most of the time. This thing is so heavy that it does not want to stand up on my engine stand, but I'm not going to be jerking it around as much as this. So, but anyhow, here's why I wanted to switch this around, is because I could have ran this linkage a little bit different here. But the way it is, I made a return spring and a return spring bracket. I made a bracket for my throttle cables, and I'm figuring it's going to get pulled from underneath this side, pulled back, which will turn that, which will throw this one, pull this one, and open and close the throttle. So that's the way I decided it was going to roll out. I made this throttle return spring again out of the 32 AWG wire, and just twisted it on a real tiny drill bit, and then put it in, let it sit and dry, and then I painted that with my Tamiya's X, I think it is 28 Park Green. I've seen a lot of these, for some reason, the HEMIs here, they're using a green colored spring, so I just wanted to do that instead of having it just the copper color that I usually just leave it. On the headers, I forgot to tell you the last time, I drilled out the centers of the headers, and then I looked at it for a while and I thought, nah, I got to drill out the 2 bolt holes to mount the headers to the exhaust. So I just did that a little while ago with the finger drill bits too. I have to touch up some paint here. I panel lined my engine stand along with a bunch of stuff everywhere else. I used the Tamiya's panel liner in the center here for the screen to give it a little bit of life and to knock down some of that shine. Our oil filter is now Fram, and all I did is I took, since I'm not making this the HEMI Thunder, I just took the decal for the HEMI that goes on the side and I cut it up and put it on there. And I'm going to use the other one for the Magnum engine that I'm going to do next. So we got that all into place. I did a couple of little dots for the bolts and I got them highlighted. I did use my D set, Tamiya's Weathermaster's D set on the intake, or on the intake, just to give it that aluminum tone that you see on there. But I wanted to show you this before I go on to the rest of the car, because this is a nice standalone kit. I got at least 2 full days of work involved in this just to get it to where it is right now. But you know what? It's worth it. This will make a nice display right next to the engine, or when I finally do get my garage set up, I'll be able to have this maybe in a corner or whatever, and another car in there getting ready to have this HEMI dropped in there. Might give me an opportunity to buy a Challenger or Cuda. That AAR Cuda would look nice with this in there. Maybe I'll pull that engine, or have that engine in the process of getting pulled in the garage. But that's what I wanted to figure. But I did want this to display, and I'm really happy with it. Once again, Revell makes a fantastic kit. I honestly think this rivals what you would see in a resin kit. No kidding around. It's just got that much detail to it. With the minor additions that I did that were all simple to do. You know, my bracket is just really thin evergreen sheets that I got off of Amazon in a multi-pack with different size stuff. All of the little extra brackets that I make, I use that evergreen, and it works out really good for me. But anyhow, the guys want to thank you for coming and watching the second update. We're going to dive into this car now the rest of the week and get rolling. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch. I hope you like the HEMI. I love it. Really great kit. And we'll let you go. You all have a great night. Thanks for watching.